when I had my exam, that time I against the clock.
I was always against the clock. Now I have a lot of free time, but that time I was against the clock. Wonderful. That is one.
I want to know a little bit more about since and for.
Since and for. Can you type
Yeah.
it? Can you type it?
Yes. 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 I type.
You have typed it in the chat? Okay.
Yeah.
Since and for. Okay. Okay. Since is like when we give a reference to the past, okay,
Yeah.
to the present. For example, I am going to a doctor.
Yeah.
So whenever the doctor is saying what is the problem and say I'm having a headache since last month.
Okay.
Okay, so something which is in the past and continues for a long time, we use since.
Yeah.
Once, if it has happened, twice it has happened, then we don't refer as since. But if we refer to something in the past which is continuing for a long time, we use since. Like
Okay.
I've always has had this habit of taking a walk since my childhood.
Mm.
So that means I'm walking for a long time. Even now I'm
Yeah.
walking. So I'm referring it since my childhood because I started from my childhood.
Mm. Yeah. For a week, for a month, I am
Yeah, long
taking.
time. And you still are doing it. Then we say since then I have been doing this.
And
Okay. So
for
it is
where we have to use for.
for is very easy, like for a cause. I wanted to do it for my mother. I wanted to study for my exam. When you want to do it for someone, for is like a preposition we are using. Okay, for something. Okay, that's easier. You can use it in the past also. I wanted to study hard for my exams in 12th. Or I can say now that I want to gym hard for good health for future. I can use it in present. But since we have to use when we are doing it from the past and still we are doing it, then it's like since
Yeah.
and for. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. There are a lot of idioms we use or phrases we use to make the English sound better. Okay. One is suppose I say against the clock. Against
Okay.
the clock means hmm, against the clock means I'm in a hurry. Instead of saying I'm in a hurry, which is a very normal thing, we say against the clock. So it's a phrase we use to make
I am against the clock.
yeah. So can you make it in a sentence and try against the clock?
Okay. Okay. Nowadays, I'm little free, but when I was my but when I had my exam, that time I against the clock.
I was always against the clock. Now I have a lot of free time, but that time I was against the clock. Wonderful. That is one. The other is, of course, saying by hook or by crook. Do you know what it means? By hook or by crook?
Yes. Whatever happen, I am going to do this. So I'm going to do this only. There's no other way. Like,
Solution.
uh, yeah. For example, I can say I'm going to marry this person, hooks and crooks.
By hook
So
and by crook. Right.
by hook
So
and crooks.
whatever my parents say, whatever the society says, I will not listen. I will marry this person only. Right.
Yeah.
So by hook or by crook, I will go forward for it. Or
Yeah.
in many a times when we want to demand something from others, I want this work done by hook or by crook by tonight. So we can get it when we want some work done fast. We use the phrase by hook or by crook. Okay. Another one is I think it applies under the weather. Under the weather means you're not feeling well.
Not feeling well.
Okay. So you can say I am under the weather. So can you use this phrase under the weather?
Yeah. Yeah, my mother always looks under the weather because she's not uh, good in her health.
Okay. My mother is always under the weather and I need to take care of her.
Yeah.
Or my mother is always under the weather and she keeps complaining about her chronic ailments or
Yeah.
diseases. Okay, all right. As white as snow. I think that's very easy. Like, when things is like looks really white. So we
Mhm.
say as white as snow.
Very beautiful.
Yeah, very beautiful.
Mm.
Yeah, especially when somebody has a fair complexion, you can say she's
Yeah.
as white as snow. Or I saw the clouds today, it was white as snow. Or the mountains, the snow-clad mountains are as white. The mountains are as white as snow when it is covered with ice, right? We can use that. Okay. Suppose let's use some vocabulary words, good vocabulary words. One
Yeah.
is the one which generally people use or we usually use is like um, interesting. The other word for interesting is there are many words. Can you think of another word for interesting?
Interesting. Attractive.
Attractive is with to the eye.
Mhm.
Attractive may not be for interesting.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. Interesting. Nothing is comes in my mind right now.
Hmm. Or fascinating is one word.
Fascinating. Curious.
Yeah. So
Curiosity.
instead of so I saw an interesting movie. I saw fascinating.
Mm.
We can use instead of interesting. Okay. Or
Yeah.
I heard a fascinating tale. An interesting
Can
tale
you write
or a
that word?
fascinating. This
Yeah.
one. Did you get it?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. The other is captivating. That means you understand what is captivating. We don't use this term much, but it's a very good vocabulary word which can be used. Captivating.
Captivative. Who attracts? Who
Yeah,
attracts?
yeah. You were extremely attracted to it. It was captivating. Hmm?
Captivative. Center of the attraction, we can say.
Yeah. So she entered the party and she had captivated the entire crowd. They were looking at her. Okay.
Mhm.
Or I was captivated by listening to the story of the hero.
Yeah.
Okay. So we use it many times, very attracted towards something, and you can say captivated.
Yeah.
The other is, ambitious. We don't use it much, but ambitious is a word which generally people use a lot.
Yeah.
To
Ambitious, very futuristic, who have a lot of goal, who have a goal, who have goal.
goal oriented is ambitious. So I'm
Oh, yeah.
ambitious becoming this. I'm ambitious to
Opportunistic.
yeah, right. I'm ambitious to become a doctor.
Yeah.
I'm ambitious to clear my exam. Something in which you want to clear a goal and achieve a goal. We are
Yeah.
ambitious. Okay, all right. We are almost there on time, I think. Can you
Yeah.
use? Can you come out with one vocabulary which you recently came across or read about?
Okay. Vocabulary.
One any vocabulary word which you came across or you've been hearing it for a long time.
Okay. So
Which
today I read one vocabulary. I write also. Perplexed. Perplexed.
perplexed, right?
Very
Yeah,
confusing. Very confusing.
confused, right, right.
Perplexed.
Wonderful word. I was perplexed to hear about her, how she landed in Mumbai so fast. Perplexing.
Yeah.
The story is perplexing.
Perplexing.
That's a great word. In fact, we don't
I
use it
had,
much.
yeah, I write that word and meaning of the word also. Today I learned
Mm,
this.
that's
Perplexed.
perplexed. That's really nice. Okay. So what you can do is you can target 5 words in a day and
Okay,
try
five
to use
words.
them in a day
Mm.
and try to use them in your sentence whenever you're texting somebody. or speaking it aloud in a
Okay.
sentence, not the word, but using the word in a sentence. Otherwise, it has no meaning. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And texting it or whenever you're mailing, try to use that word. So if you
Mm.
use it 4 5 times in a day, it will start floating in front of your eyes.
Mm. Yes.
Yeah, so you can increase your vocabulary very easy. Only 5 words in a day, not more than that, because it doesn't go in the memory then. In the long term memory, if you want
Yeah.
anything, then you do 5 words. And continuously, if you do that, in a month or so, you will see that you're speaking much better with better vocabulary words. It's a very good way to increase.